morning, all you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode. How does an RV work? The video I'm going to make right now is a video I wish I would have seen before I bought my first RV. How does it all work? These are the questions that I had. Okay, so how does electricity work? How does power work? How do you cook in your RV? How does your refrigerator work? How do you get heat? How do you stay warm? How do you get water? Where does that water go? How do you take showers? How do you wash dishes? How does living in an RV compare to living in a house? So let's start off with talking about electricity and power. Okay, so when you plug in your RV, everything in your RV works. You have essentially AC power and DC power. You're also charging your batteries. Now, when you unplug your RV, everything turns to your batteries. Everything's like, hey, I need power. There's no more power coming into my RV. Where's the stored power at? That is in your batteries. This is when you have to start conserving your energy or power, such as turning your lights off and turning your fans off. Now, the larger the battery, the longer you can leave these lights and fans on. But when you're just running off your batteries, you only have DC power. Remember when I said you're hooked up, you have AC power and DC power? Well, when you're just on your batteries, you only have DC power, which means all of your DC appliances will work, but all of your AC outlets and AC appliances will not work. Just to simplify this is an AC outlet. This will not work when I'm just powering off my battery. This is a DC outlet, so this will work when I'm running off my battery. Once again, as soon as you plug in, everything works. But that's the difference between AC and DC. So if you would like to get AC power for your outlets to work, what you're gonna have to do is buy an inverter. An inverter changes DC power to AC power. So here's my inverter. This inverter is connected to the battery. It's taking DC power from the battery and changing it into AC power. And then I have a power bar all the way down here, and I have these outlets of AC power. Some people buy really, really big inverters so that they can make every single outlet on their RV work. For me, I only need just a couple outlets. All I really need to charge is my laptop and camera batteries. That's all that I use the AC power for. So now we're living the dream, right? We've got our lights on, we understand that. We've got some things plugged into AC power or DC power. You're running some power in your RV, everything's great. But as you're running that power, your battery is slowly draining. So now you need to charge your batteries up. There are 4 ways to charge your batteries. Number 1 is just to plug back in. That's the easiest. This is going to charge your batteries, and then this is also going to give power to all of your appliances. Second way is a generator. Now there's many different generators out there, but this is my generator in that box right here, and that will charge your batteries when you turn it on. Now some people don't have onboard generators, so if you have a portable generator, there's also 2 ways to charge it. You can hook your portable generator up to your shore power outlet, or you could connect your generator to a speed charger and then clamp it directly onto the battery. All 3 ways are charging your batteries with a generator. The third way is solar panels. So this is my solar panel, just a 100-watt solar panel, and that takes energy from the sun and it charges my batteries. There's a line that runs all the way down to my batteries, right through there. And the 4th way is this little cord. So my truck's alternator powers this little cord, and then this trickle charges my batteries as well. Now I'm not going to get too in depth of that subject because that subject goes on forever. Just check out the internet, read the RV forums, it goes forever. But this is where money comes in handy. Basically, the more you spend, the easier and the faster your batteries will charge. So for me, if you don't know who I am, I boondock a lot. Boondocking means you basically run off your batteries a lot. You can't plug in anywhere. So for me, I run my generator a lot. If I'm using a lot of electricity with my RV, then I have to spend a couple hours every day charging my batteries back up. Right, so now I think we understand how electricity works, how we get electricity in our RV, how we charge our batteries back up, and now the next subject is the question I get a lot is, do you have heat in there? And so let's talk about that. So the two most common ways to get heat in your RV is a space heater or your furnace. A space heater is more for when you're plugged in. Plugged into shore power, that means. And the reason for that is turning something from cold to hot or hot to cold draws the most amount of power. So if I plugged this in and I was only using my battery power to operate this, my battery would die extremely fast. My furnace, on the other hand, which is just under here, doesn't use as much electricity because it's not electric heat. It's actually heat from propane. So propane goes through, creates fire, and then just like your home furnace, blows it out here and there's warm air. So I use my furnace all the time because I'm not connected to power. So where is propane? Where is your propane on an RV? The propane is like natural gas to a house, except it doesn't come underground. For me, I have to go get it filled up. So in here are my propane tanks. Look at that. These are two 30-pound propane tanks. These will last me quite a while. The one thing that draws a lot of propane is my furnace. So when it's cold out and I'm using my furnace to stay warm at night, I have to fill these up about every week or so. When it's warm like it is today, I rarely use these. The way you cook and the way that you keep your food refrigerated, for me, is also from propane. Let me show you. So I have a propane stove. That's coming from those propane bottles. Another thing that runs off propane is my fridge. It runs off DC power, so just my batteries. It runs off AC power for when I'm plugged in, and it also runs off propane. Now I always keep my fridge on propane because it just sips propane and it keeps everything cool, and that way I'm not draining my battery. If I left this on DC power, my batteries would drain fairly quick because remember, hot to cold or cold to hot. That's what drains your batteries extremely fast. All right, so we're just moving along. The next topic, how does water work? When I do that, what's happening? Where's that water coming from and where's that water going? Let me show you. Okay, so there's two ways to get water into your RV. The first one is city water. So if you have a hose at home, it's called, like your garden hose, it's called city water. And you take that, you hook it up to the outlet on your RV that says city water, and there you go, you've got water. The second way is what I do. I fill up my freshwater holding tank because I'm very mobile. I don't have a stationary spot to hook this up constantly. So I go over to my friend's house, I knock on the door and say, hey, can I borrow some water? I hook up to his garden hose, I put this end in the outlet, and I fill my freshwater tank. Now, like I said outside, if you're connected to city water, then you already have pressure. If you fill your holding tank up, then you don't have any pressure. So this is what this panel is for. See this button right here called your water pump? That's not on right now, so when it's not on, there's no pressure because it's not sucking anything up from my holding tank. When I turn it on, hear that? Then I have pressure. And we'll just go through these really quick. This is a porch light, so this is just an outdoor light that I have. These are my cab over lights, so you'll see that light in the corner. That runs that. And then these two are your gas water heater and your electric water heater. So when you are plugged into shore power, you can use your electric water heater. But I, like I said, am not connected to shore power very often, so I always use my gas water heater. So your gas water heater is basically like putting a water jug on top of a fire, all right? So don't mind the mess. This is, see that, this white tub here? This white tank here, that's a water heater. So what happens is the fresh water in my tank gets sucked into this 6-gallon water heater, and then the flames basically heat it up, and that's how I have hot water in my RV. The other way to do it is electrical way. There's basically an electric wire in there that heats the water up. Okay, so now we've figured out where the water comes from. either way, when you use your tap, your shower, or your toilet, where does that water go? So when you use your tap, or you use your shower, that water goes into your gray holding tank. Gray holding tank is right under my feet right here. When you use your toilet, that water goes into your black water tank. So basically 2 tanks, your gray water tank, your black water tank, and well, 3 tanks, your freshwater tank. And the black water tank is right under my feet as well. Now, when they get full, where do you dump them? What you do is you go to your neighbor's lawn and you open your valves. That was funny. That was funny. What you do is you find a dump station. Dump stations are at RV parks. Dump stations, RV parks, gas stations. And when you're traveling to RV areas, sometimes there's just an RV dump station on the side of the road. Its own little thing. Now, with that being said, make sure you dump your black water in a dump station. And the proper thing to do with your gray water is to dump it at a dump station as well. But I know a lot of people who use organic products and they dump their gray water wherever they see fit to do so. So it is up to you to decide what you're going to do with your gray water and how you're going to treat your gray water. Now, there's big talk on the internet about black water. What do you do with your black water? Going to the washroom? How does all that work? So there's many different ways to deal with your black water. I choose to personally not deal with it at all. I very rarely use my black water tank. I very rarely use the toilet in my RV. You'd be surprised how convenient it is to find a public washroom. Public washrooms are literally everywhere. Gas stations, malls, grocery stores, public parks, like literally everywhere, rest areas. So the reason that I do that is so that I don't have to deal with a black water tank. Now, other people will have composting toilets. I'm sure you've heard of a composting toilet. There's many YouTube videos. Gone with the Winds is a great video to watch for their composting toilet. There's many different ways to deal with your black water tank. Some people remove their black water tank. Some people use their black water tank for extra gray water. There's a lot of different ways to do that, but I'm just telling you kind of what works for me as of right now in my RV lifestyle. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is how I cook. That is how I get heat. That is how I get power. That's how I take showers and wash dishes. It's basically everything you have in a house, in a small space, on wheels. So there's one more thing that you have to remember. Have fun and enjoy the adventure. You're not going to learn everything by watching YouTube videos. You have to get out there and experience it for yourself. I've been living in this for a full year and I still learn new things every single day. Matter of fact, a lot of my subscribers who comment, I learn a lot from you guys. So yeah, add a comment if you'd like. If you feel like subscribing, you're more than welcome to do so. Keep living that dream. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day and bye-bye.